Hi, this is Winn Claybaugh. Welcome to my Best of Masters audio blog. For over 20 years, I have interviewed hundreds of the most successful leaders in and out of the beauty industry for Masters Audio Club. Next up is one of my favorite clips. Listen, learn, and enjoy. What do you say to that next generation that wants it overnight? Which, by the way, on one level, I think it's kind of cool that they want to be successful quicker, that they have this drive to, and nowadays things do happen quicker. So what's the advice that you give to that next generation that, they want it to happen overnight and yet, maybe they don't have the work ethic and they don't realize that it does take a lot of hard work and it does take time?
Well, the first thing you have to do is, if you're starting out in the industry, you have to check your ego at the door. You cannot possibly walk into this industry with an inflated ego. You have to be able to do anything that needs to be done to get to where you want to get. I know that when I started the industry, you mentioned State Board of Cosmetology. Mm-hmm. I've been a member of the State Board for 14 years. I've been appointed by 2 governors 3 different times. I flunked my first state board exam, okay? The irony of it.
Right.
I flunked my first state board.
I hope you tell everybody that.
I do.
Good.
I don't hide it whatsoever. I was fired from my very first job in the beauty industry 2 weeks before Christmas. I shampooed hair. My first job was shampooing for 13 months for 13 women. Everyone thinks that Charles Penzone got out of beauty school and was in People magazine.
Right.
It doesn't happen. You have to do what every one of those people we mentioned earlier has done. Every single one of them has started out as an associate, working with great people, and working 5, 6, 7 days a week if need be. It's just, you check the ego at the door and do whatever it takes.
There was a time, obviously, in your career, you were working as a hairdresser, and then you wanted to get into business. What was it like for you to switch from an artistic perspective to a business perspective? And was that natural for you? Or did you have to really, train yourself? Or, what was that like?
It was a segue that was very natural for me. And I think what made it easy was the fact that I surrounded myself with incredibly talented lawyers, accountants. I established a great relationship with my bankers, and I always hired people much smarter than I in business.
Comment on that, too.
Well, I started my business when I was 23 years old, and I was very naive. I knew nothing about business. But I was very lucky and I was very gifted as an artist. So I had to find people who could pick up the slack for me. In 1969 was a recession, very similar to what we're going through now. Not quite as bad, but it was still a tough time to go into the industry. I should have failed, but I had a lot of good people looking out for me and covering my back. Even today, after 40 years of owning this business, we employ MBAs, CPAs in our company that are constantly looking after us. We have wonderful cash flow in this business we're in, and we hire these people to manage that cash flow because so many people don't in this industry. If you think about a business that doesn't have receivables, our clients come in, they pay cash, they walk out. Right. That's a very positive plus for our industry. But you still need people around that can manage those things for you. If you're going to be in business for yourself in this industry and you want to focus on the aesthetic side of it, be sure and have some people to pick up the slack on those areas that you're not comfortable with, i.e. understanding a balance sheet and financial statements.
But you still see it. There are brilliant artistic hairdressers who have decided to go in business for themselves, and they're still struggling financially. In fact, if they don't stop cutting hair, they can't even make payroll for their staff.
Well, it's probably 99% of the businesses in our industry are like that, unfortunately. I've watched it happen over 40 years of owning the company. people will leave and try their own salons, and they still have that one salon. They're still working 5 to 6 days a week, not because they're not good at what they do. It's because it's very difficult. The government makes it difficult to make a lot of money. Mm-hmm. The competition is brutal now in this industry. And, from when I started my company in '69 to now, it's night and day. If the same Charles Penzone tried to start his company today, it would be a really, really tough road.
Actually, that was the question that I had for you. Could you do it today and still make it work the same way?
It would be extremely difficult today.